While the artisans of Tay Tiêu keep tradition alive through puppetry, our next guest is also reconnecting with her roots, and this time through contemporary art. Living amid the elegance of Paris while carrying the memories of Vietnam deep in her soul, one artist has turned to painting as a way of reconnecting with her identity and origins. From the structured world of law and the precisions of legal contracts, she chose instead to follow emotion, intuition, and art. In today's editions of On the Mic, we speak with Guillemin to explore her journey between the two cultures.
Mình là Guillemin, mình là một họa sĩ tự do và mình hiện tại đang sinh sống và làm việc tại Paris.
A self-taught artist, she merges European surrealism and American abstract expressionism with Vietnamese poetic spirituality. Originally trained in law, with more than a decade of experience in international business law, Vân unexpectedly turned towards art. Yet, within only 3 years, she achieved notable success with her works exhibited at major exhibitions in France, Italy, and Dubai.
First, thank you, Ms. Vân, for joining this interview.
Thank you for having me today.
So, you started your career in law before turning to art. So, what was the turning point that you made the decisions?
Actually, no turning point for me. Lord gave me the discipline, the structure, and also philosophy. I can see the world through the logic, but art make me feel the world by emotion. There's a lot of time that I question myself who I am. I think that the time that I start law, I already have my art inside. There's no turning point. It's just the feeling come at the right moment. And I decided to quit my job. I have to learn much more than people who came from the art school. But that is give me the freedom. I can learn very fast. I still learn it by myself by reading book or see on internet or communication with the real artists and the people who work in art. So I think that it's really challenge, but it also is opportunity for me to create my own style with my Vietnamese feeling.
How has living between France and Vietnam shaped your artistic identity?
French inspired me a lot, like every daily life. When I go to a museum or when I have some dialogue with the artists or the galleries, Paris can shape my career, but Vietnam shaped my soul. Vietnam culture in me is always there, and I always want to show inside my art have something belonging, and also is the mix between the traditional and modern. The East and West, because I am the Vietnamese woman, tries to explore the world, but also want to keep the Vietnamese side inside me. So now is the time I want to show the both world inside my art.
After pursuing her artistic career in France for 3 years, Guillemin recently brought 11 of her works back to Vietnam, presenting 2 major solo exhibitions in Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi under the theme Origin. The works don't tell a single fixed story. Instead, they unfold through layers of imagery, memory, and emotion, allowing each viewer to discover their own experience within the empty spaces and ambiguous movements of the paintings.
Vân's exhibition in Paris, I found it really beautiful. It's an intimate work based on your feelings and memories and things that hurt you or that you make something better out of it, some art. And I found it really striking. And so I was traveling in Vietnam. I just wanted to take the opportunity to see the exhibition again.
Well, her art is very versatile. She's got a huge range of techniques, huge range of emotions that come across in her paintings as well. Beautiful use of color, stroke, and paint, and the mixture of the materials she used. Experience from Vietnam to France, and all that experience came and presented itself onto the canvases that we see now. You see, there were long periods of uncertainty in her life, uncertainty, insecurity, and not knowing if these were the right steps she was making in her life is clearly shown in some of the paintings of the chrysalis, of the shapes and orbs that are developing and growing. And then eventually it bursts out of that and becomes a canvas of color and light and evolution. So you can see her transition here.
Có một số họa sĩ là từ nước ngoài, họ mang một cái tâm hồn của người Việt Nam, mang cái dấu ấn văn hóa của người Việt Nam để thể hiện trong các cái tác phẩm của mình. Và chúng tôi rất tự hào được tổ chức các cái triển lãm như vậy. Nó mang được cái tinh thần của một cái người nghệ sĩ, mang được cái cảm xúc riêng, dấu ấn riêng và những cái tình cảm mà người phụ nữ đã ấp ủ để thành các cái tác phẩm mà nó rất là nhiều cảm xúc, đưa đến cho công chúng những cái trải nghiệm về một cái dấu ấn nguồn cội nhưng mà nó lại mang những cái âm hưởng rất là hiện đại.
So why did you choose cội nguồn or origins as the main themes of these exhibitions?
Origin for me is the inner truth, where people can come back and listen to their voice. For me, is when I really take the time to listen to myself, and that is the moment that I realize who I am, and I would love to continue to discover more about myself. So origin is the inner truth, and that is the opportunity for me to dig inside my soul and understand back to my root as a Vietnamese. A lot of people think that origin is talk about the birthplace, but for me it's more than that. It's the place that you really listen to yourself and understand who you are.
How do Vietnamese cultures influence your artworks?
Vietnamese culture is already inside me, and you can see that it's from every color. The contrast of the color, it can be extravagant but very powerful, and they're like the light and also shadow. So Vietnamese culture is always inside me, no matter where I am. When I create my art in Paris or another place or in Vietnam, it's already here.
What makes these exhibitions in Vietnam more special compared to your shows in Dubai, Italy, or Paris? And why did you decide to bring it to Vietnam?
Actually, every exhibition have their own meaningful for me, and the biggest achievement for me is not where I exhibit, it's who I am. I truly work on what I really love to do. That is more important. Is everywhere I exhibit, people can feel that in my painting. And for me, that exhibition in Vietnam is very particular and very special for me, because that is the moment of turning point that I share my art to the Vietnamese people, to my old beloved friends. I love to do it in Vietnam because I much connect more with the Vietnamese people. So I think that I have done a very difficult thing by exhibit in the other country, but for me, bring back my art to Vietnam, that is really an honor, and very happy when I can see and talk with people.
Once again, thank you very much for joining this interview.
Thank you for having me today.